look at the time. Oh, it's daylight already.
What's your hurry?
Yeah, well, this is the second time this week I'll arrive home with the milkman.
Oh, it's none of his business, is it?
No, well, his aunt plays bingo with my nan.
Small towns.
Oh, don't you love them?
Now, you know there is a way to solve your problem, don't you, Sash?
Yeah? I can't move in here with you. No, it's too soon after Billy's death. My family never forgives me.
You were the one who wanted everyone to know we were going out with each other.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Why? Oh. This will be your milkman, Sash. I don't know why you haven't left the right money, huh? No, Thomas Police, Senior Constable Schultz. Right, burglary. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll be there as soon as possible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, it's another thing. Phone calls in the middle of the night.
Oh, love me, love my job, Sash. Better be important, Richard. I'm on another call.
Someone's just nicked me donk.
Eh? I'm sorry. Taking the whole thing, haven't they?
Mongrels.
Yeah. Well, bad luck, Richard. You joined the club. You're the 6th this month. Yeah. I'll get some details off this first.
BKC, Mount Thomas 306.
Mount Thomas 306.
Mount Thomas 306, do you have an ETA for the Bennett Street burglary?
ETA's 15 minutes, 15 minutes. As soon as I get there.
Just study bit, Schultz.
You're not wrong, mate.
You took your time?
Yes, I know. I was on another call, wasn't I? More stolen parts.
That's an epidemic.
I need some help interviewing the neighbours.
Oh, good, eh? What's the story?
There's a burglary. The occupant heard a disturbance about 7:15. Saw a bloke run out the front door.
Description?
Yes, he's medium height, build, fair hair.
Oh, Mr. Average. Fantastic. What was stolen?
CD video, a bit of cash. Maggie's chatted to these neighbours. Do you want to check out the end of the street?
That'd be right. You got a problem with your matey?
She won't start.
Gee, that's no good, is it?
A glitch in the fuel pump, I think. Yeah, not a problem. You blokes on foot patrols now?
No, just routine inquiries, sir. I'll fetch a spanner from your toolbox,
No,
shall I?
no, it's all right.
No, I insist.
Well, it's,
Now, that's a funny sort of thing to have in your toolbox, isn't it?
yeah, well, I
What's
use...
going on, Nick?
Medium height and build, fair hair. And this.
Look, my car stopped, that's all. Something to do with the fuel pump.
Number 35 is burgled, and your car just happens to break down around the corner, is that it?
I told you. I was just passing through.
On your way to work?
Actually, I'm between jobs at the moment. I was on my way to see a mate.
Okay, got a name?
There's no use asking you. Didn't know I was coming.
Well, you got to look at it from my point of view, Greg. It's 7:30 in the morning, and you're going to see a mate, doesn't know you're coming. And your car just happens to break down around the corner from a burglary. Now, any of that strike you as being suspicious?
Nope.
Well, I guess I've just got a more suspicious nature, especially when you matched a burglar's description and you're carrying house-breaking implements.
So what? I didn't do it.
There's more, matey. I took some scrapings of paint from that window that was forced. Pink paint it was, and there was pink paint on that pinch bar of yours.
What about the stolen stuff? If I took it, why wasn't it in my car?
I was going to ask you the same question.
It was like this. These Martians with 3 arms and 4 eyes suddenly materialized and took all the stuff back to their spaceship.
That's hilarious.
I reckon you were working with mates, 2 vehicles. They took off with the stuff, and you were left high and dry when your car wouldn't start.
That's a load of bull.
Suit yourself. Gregory Allen Griffiths, I'm charging you with burglary and going equipped to steal. You'll be summoned to appear at the magistrate's court to answer these charges.
Yeah, but I told you I didn't do it.
Well, that's up to the magistrate.
Can I go now?
Yeah, if you don't turn up, there'll be harsher penalties. See ya.
Hey, mate.
You talking to me?
Yeah, how about a lift? Back to me car.
Rack off, you cheeky sod. You got a hide as sick as an ox.
Yeah, up yours.
It's got to be the easiest pinch of the year.
Some people shouldn't be let out without a keeper.
Oh, no, I'm not here, okay?
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm Marcia Highland. I'd like to report a missing person.
Oh, right.
My husband Jerry went out early this morning. He said he'd be back for breakfast, but he never turned up. I'm worried sick about him. It's just so unlike him.
All right, Mrs. Holland, now we'll need a description or a recent photograph, if you have one.
Yeah. I know I put it in here. Oh, here it is. It's a recent photograph.
Thank you.
Problems?
Missing person, boss, Mr. Jerry Highland.
Since when?
Since breakfast.
He said he'd be back. I mean, he never gets up early.
Well, don't you worry, Mrs. Highland. Constables Doyle and Patterson will look into it for you.
Oh, Wayne, you are here.
Mrs. Highland.
They'll look after you.
Yes, I know he will.
But before they do, a word, please. How well do you know this Mrs. Highland?
Hardly at all, boss.
She seems to know you pretty well.
She's just a very outgoing person, I'd say.
What about this missing husband of hers? Should we be concerned, or is she just a bit of a panic merchant?
Oh, well, my guess is that she'd be very highly excitable, boss.
All right. Check it out with Doyle and Patterson. Try and start thinking with your head.
Yes, boss.
Wayne, Mr. Highland got a phone call about 5:30 this morning.
Wayne, it's so good to see you again. It's been so long.
Mrs. Highland, why don't we keep this professional? Thank you.
Of course.
He drives a Burgundy Magna sedan, registration Delta Whiskey Sierra 672, which is no longer in the garage.
He used to drive an MG, you know.
Oh, really?
There was this great big black hole where his engine was, and poor old Richo staring at it. It was pretty funny, really.
Yeah, that's good for a laugh, isn't it? But, matey, this spares business is getting out of control. It's 20 grand so far.
What about your mates, the Ratton brothers?
Nah, it's a bit out of their league, I reckon.
What are you going to do about it?
Oh, ever vigilant and wait for someone to dob the bloke in.
Hello, Mount Thomas Police. Constable Cooper speaking. Oh, yeah. Hi, Sash. Yep, he's just here.
Cheers, mate.
No problem.
Hi, Sash.
You taking lunch orders, matey?
Do I always have to do it?
Or is there another trainee around the office?
Yeah, all right. What do you want?
I want some fresh pita bread, tabbouleh, falafel, sun-dried tomatoes, you know.
Yeah, what do you really want, Paige?
The usual.
Yeah, right. Are you on a pie as well?
Hey, mate. I've got lunch date.
Oh, it's Sash. Yeah.
Some people just won't be told, will they?
Well, I think it'd be best now if you go home and wait, and of course let us know if you hear anything.
I will. Thanks, Constable. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like a private word with your colleague.
Certainly. Well, we'll do what we can, Mrs. Highland.
And what about you, Wayne? Will you do your best?
Marcia,
You don't have to be embarrassed. You're quite alone.
I'm not.
You're a funny boy, aren't you? You're so shy. You know, if I didn't know you better, I'd say that you're avoiding me.
I am.
What?
Now, which part of this picture don't you get, Marcia? It's over. Finished. The end. End of story. Kaput. Do you understand me?
You don't mean that.
Now, you stop hassling me. You stop calling me. I never want to see you again. Do you understand? Now, can you find your own way out, Mrs. Highland, or would you like me to help you?
Hi, how are you?
Oh, hi.
Did you change your mind, have you?
No, not quite yet. Listen, I want you to meet someone.
Eh?
Mm-hmm.
Someone important or?
Yeah, he's important to me. Nick, I want you to meet my little brother, Greg.
G'day.
He just wouldn't have done that burglary. There's no way in the world.
All right, he's your brother, but he also looks as guilty as sin, all right?
Decided yet?
No, thanks.
Oh, no worries. Take your time.
And I'm saying that he couldn't have done it.
No, look, even if he hasn't done it, there's no point telling me.
Well, can't you talk to PJ?
No. No.
Look, Greg tells me everything. He wouldn't have done it.
Look, Sash, we've taken some paint samples from your brother's car. If he hasn't done it, they'll prove it. The charges will be dismissed. That'll be the end of the story.
You really believe that?
What are you asking me to do, Sasha?
It's just that your mate PJ dislikes me so much that as soon as he finds out that Greg is my brother, he's going to want to lock him up forever.
Oh, please.
Look, excuse me, I am not blind.
It's getting a bit embarrassing, Sash.
This is my brother. This isn't just some kid we're talking about. Please, Nick. He means a lot to me.
Well, if the evidence is there, that'll prove his innocence.
As long as the evidence is there.
Well, if it is, I'll find it. Does that make you happy?
Almost. Greg still needs a lift back to his car.
Do it up yourself, did you?
Oh, from scratch. Got most of the parts from the wreckers.
Yeah? Got pretty flash wheels here.
You should have seen the last lot. Fully imported chrome sports mags, spokes, 8-inch slicks. Cost me a fortune.
They sound lovely, Greg, but if I would have caught you on them, I would have stopped the road with you on your windscreen.
Just as well they got nicked then.
When was this?
Oh, a few weeks back.
Did you report it?
Nah. Should be okay now. Thanks, Nick.
How'd you go with our missing person?
Well, there's no sign of him or his car. We've checked all known associates, pubs, clubs, doctors, hospitals, the works.
This bloke's the invisible man. No one knows anything about him.
What about his work? Any joy there?
Well, apparently he's a kitchenware salesman. I rang him at work, but they said he was out in the road. Could they take a message?
Let's see if he turns up tonight with an apology for missing breakfast. Where's Nick?
He's out gathering evidence on this morning's burglary.
Yeah? Well, seems pretty open and shut to me.
Yeah, well, Chris said something about him going off with Sasha's brother.
Sasha's got a brother? Oh, yeah?
Well, we're asking all residents if they've seen anything unusual in the street early this morning, Mr. Jones.
UFOs, that sort of thing?
No, I was thinking more along the lines of motor vehicles, sir.
Yeah, no consideration, these young fellas. Use this street as a speedway all hours of the day and night. They just don't care.
No, they don't, do they? Well, thanks very much.
They were at it again early this morning. 2 kids in a panel van.
How early?
Well, just about 7. I was on my way out, frying the living daylights out of me. They drove off like bats out of hell.
Drove off from where?
Up there. Long-haired louts in our hot rods.
Right, and Mr. Jones, did you happen to see that the lout in his red hot rod was parked across the road there at about 7 this morning?
7? No, he wasn't there then. But he was there when I came back at 7:30 with my paper. I say, is this important?
Could be, sir, could be. Would you mind making a statement for me?
Okay, thanks very much. Bye.
Is PJ in?
Yes, sure is. Nick, forensic on those paint samples.
Thanks. Very much. Paint samples don't match.
Right, so Greg didn't use the pinch bar for the break-in.
That's right.
No, it doesn't mean he's in the clear. He used it for something.
It either matches the break-in or it doesn't, or aren't you up to chasing any other suspects?
Yeah, okay.
Like the 2 lads, 16 or 17 or thereabouts, who were seen by Herb Jones driving off down Bennett Street, 7:15 this morning in a panel van, Ford make, model 8485.
No, that'll be the accomplices.
Mate, he didn't see either Greg or his car at that time, which means he broke down just after the burglary or just before you and Maggie turned up.
So, when did you go back to Bennett Street?
Just now I gave Griffiths a lift back to his car.
That's good of you to look after the family, mate.
He's no family of mine.
Well, it was the next best thing to a brother-in-law.
All right, I just found out he was Sasha's brother at lunch.
Well, you know he's got form, don't you? Burglaries at 14, 15?
14? That's hardly form. He's just mucking around with the wrong crowd.
I'd say he's still in with them.
Oh, your mystery accomplices, eh?
Spot on. Sasha's little brother's in trouble, and she's leaning on you to pull him out.
You're short on evidence. By anyone's standards, that forensic report clears that kid.
Maybe.
Boss, Jerry Hyland's turned up.
Yeah? Where?
He's in hospital recovering from an assault. Seems some passing good Samaritan found him and brought him in.
Assault now? I'll take Wayne with you, see if he's well enough to question. Ask him who did it. Oh, and see if you can get a statement from this good Samaritan.
Sure.
It's out of the question.
It won't take long.
Look at him. He's just back from X-ray, suspected broken jaw, possible concussion. He's a mess.
We just wanted to have a chat with him.
He could have been lying dead out there in the streets for all you cared.
Turn it up.
You always wanted him out of the way, didn't you? You probably bashed him yourself like you said you would.
Okay, out with it.
No. It's your career. If you want to mess it up, you go
I
ahead.
never touched him.
But you touched her.
She goes to my gym.
Oh, no kidding.
Well, she made it fairly obvious that she was, interested in me.
She fancied the pants off you, Wayne.
Yeah, well, she's a bit past her use-by date, so I didn't do anything about it. That is until she rang up with some false prowling complaint a couple of weeks ago.
And came on to you.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
How many times did you sleep with her? Now, come on, spit it out.
Once, okay? Just the once. Now, you're not going to tell the boss about this, are you?
I don't think I'll need to, Wayne.
Patterson, can you spare me a moment?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Mags, they found the bloke. That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose so.
You told me you hardly knew the woman.
That's right.
Then why is she screaming blue murder and claiming that you two were having a passionate affair?
Well, there might have been a bit more to it than that.
How much more?
She was lonely, I was lonely, one thing led to another.
When was this?
A couple of weeks ago, but it wasn't anything.
That's not what she's saying.
Look, I wanted to call it off. She wanted to keep things going.
Ah, so you're saying this is merely the ranting of a woman scorned?
Yes.
All right. I'll have a word with Mrs. Hyland. In the meantime, you have a think about it and try and get your story straight. And I'd like the truth this time.
Now, if she puts in a formal complaint, it'll go to internal investigation.
Great.
Now, the only bit IOD'd be interested in is what time you attended Marsha's house.
Well, I was on duty. Marsha Hyland rang to say she had a prowler in the garden and would one of us attend.
According to the records, you attended a call at 9:35 at 21 Bellbird Road about a prowler. You found no evidence of a prowler, yet you were still with Mrs. Hyland into shift 10:30.
Yeah, well, her hubby was away. She was a little bit nervous, so I stopped for a cup of coffee.
Right. Now, the key thing is, Wayne, did you have sex with Mrs. Hyland whilst on an official call?
You see, the way they look at things, old China, is what you do in your own time's your own business, more or less. But rolling up for a bit of slap and tickle in a police car for all the world to see, it's not a good look.
Now, remember, if you admit to one charge, Wayne, they'll assume 20. Now, I'd be right in saying that even though you may have been intimate with Mrs. Hyland on one occasion, it never, ever happened on police business, is that right?
Yeah, you'd be correct in assuming that.
Well, he would say that, wouldn't he?
We're just trying to get to the truth of the matter, Mrs. Hyland.
Well, that's all I've ever asked, Sergeant.
There seems to be no doubt the two of you were involved in an intimate relationship.
It was just a fling, one of those physical things that can happen.
According to Constable Patterson, it was over before it began.
Yeah, that's true. I realised my marriage meant more to me and tried to cool it down, but Wayne wouldn't hear of it. He was a very hot-blooded boy. Pestered and pestered.
But you didn't give in?
Mm-mm. Perhaps I should have. Look what's happened now.
Now, Jerry Hyland was called out to a meeting between 5 and 6 in the morning. Can you account for your movements during that time?
At home in bed was going to be pretty hard to prove, unless you had your aerobics partner with you.
I was out jogging.
You always go jogging at this time, do you?
Only when I can't get to the gym.
Can anyone confirm that?
So, there you were this morning, out jogging all alone.
I never touched the guy, boss. I never talked about touching him. I never thought about touching him. The bloke just wasn't that important.
All right, Patterson. I'm confining you to the station till this thing blows over.
That's not fair.
You don't seem to realise this matter could have very serious ramifications. Just be thankful I'm feeling generous.
Fine.
Our Good Samaritan's his sales rep. I spoke to his wife and she has no way of contacting him, but he's due back tomorrow first thing.
Right. Cooper, get out there and keep looking around. That Burgundy Magna has to be somewhere.
Boss, I've covered half the town.
Then cover it again.
I could help. Many hands and all that.
Thanks for the offer, Patterson, but you're flying a desk, remember?
All right, all right. Mount Thomas Police, Constable Patterson speaking. Fine, I'll pass it on. Jerry Hyland's ready for a chat.
About time.
Someone hit me. I don't know who. Must have come up behind.
Where was this?
I went out for an early morning jog.
I understood you were in your car.
That's right.
So where is it now?
I don't know.
Your wife said you had a telephone call. Made an appointment to see somebody.
Not at all. There was a phone call, but it was the wrong number. And, you know, I was awake by then, so I thought I'd go for a run.
Where did you go? Can you tell us the route?
Yeah, No. Don't believe I can. Funny, that.
I'm Constable Doyle, Mount Thomas Police.
Oh, yes?
I was wondering if I could speak to one of your employees, Mr. Jerry Hyland.
Well, I'm sorry, but Jerry's out on the road at the moment. Perhaps I can give him a message for you.
That's what you said on the phone.
Is anything wrong?
Why do you ask?
It's just that, well, Jerry isn't exactly an employee here anymore.
Oh, but you said that I could leave a message.
Jerry left us 6 months ago. We came to this arrangement, see, it was Jerry's idea, and I was happy to help out. It's because of his wife. Well, she's a bit of a worrier, apparently.
Oh, I see.
Well, it's tough for the blokes, isn't it, when they get retrenched? And if their wife's giving them pressure too, well, I figure it doesn't hurt to help them out just till they get on their feet.
So, is he still out of work?
Not exactly. He's gone out on his own. Always a bit tricky, I guess.
I suppose so. Do you happen to know what line of business he's in now?
Something to do with cars, I think.
Well done, Maggie. DKC, Mount Thomas Station back on channel. All right, I know it's been a long day, but this Jerry Hyland is really starting to intrigue me.
And me. Somebody bashed him.
Not me.
Thank you, Patterson.
I want to know who and why.
Well, we've still got an hour till stumps.
Right, I work with Maggie and cover new and used car yards. Nick, you and Adam can do panel beaters and accessory shops.
Good
Thanks, mate. This bloke must leave footprints somewhere.
Well, I could have another talk with him if you like.
No, there's not much point, boss. We need more on him.
All right, I'm going to have a chat with Marcia Hyland. I think she knows more than she's telling us.
6 months?
That's what the receptionist says.
What's he been doing all this time?
Well, it's exactly what we're trying to find out, Mrs. Hyland. According to the receptionist, his new job involves something to do with cars.
Oh, yeah, that'd be right. He always loved cars. When we first met, he had this immaculate MG. So smooth and sexy. He was good too.
A good driver.
Yes. He used to win all the hill climbs, car club rallies.
Mrs. Hyland, we appreciate your cooperation.
Anything to help, Sergeant.
How'd you go?
Well, if they know anything they're not saying.
Mate, there was a call for you. Something about a witness. Said to call them back.
Cheers, thanks.
Apparently Hyland used to be pretty big in sports cars.
Yeah, well, no mention of that from our
Boss, not so much as a squeak.
Yeah, he's low profile, that's for sure.
His wife reckons he used to be pretty big in the local car club.
Well, not anymore.
None of the old blokes remember him.
Right, thanks very much for that, mate. Good day. Cheers.
We got a lead.
Yeah, but about another matter. Can I speak to you in your office, please, PJ?
Sure. Don't tell me. Startling new developments in the Sasha's little brother case.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, there are.
Oh, yeah?
Now, a kid delivering newspapers saw Greg Griffiths park his car and walk away in the opposite direction of the burglary.
Well, I suppose this kid is related to Sasha, too. It's one hell of a family.
All I'm saying to you, mate, is just drop the charges before it gets too embarrassing. For everyone.
I'll think about it, OK?
Yeah, good.
Well, that's wonderful. And PJ will drop the charges.
Well, it'll have to, I think, because there's no case left to answer.
Oh, mwah. Thank you, thank you.
It's all right.
You're very clever.
But I...
And I love you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
I think we should celebrate.
OK, what do you got in mind?
Oh, how about a bottle of champagne?
Champagne? Peters, you were sure you approved, you know?
Well, actually, I bought it to celebrate something else.
Well, you got the good stuff, too. Where's my peanut butter glasses? You've got your glasses. I might covered there, Sash. Have you moved in? Just like an old married couple.
Oh, speak for yourself.
Oh, make the boss pleased, that's for sure. Oh, he thinks all watch housekeepers should be married.
Why, because Wayne was.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, poor Wayne.
You don't know the half of it.
Hmm?
Oh, he's just got himself into a bit of trouble at work.
Oh, what's he done?
Oh, nothing. He's done nothing, actually. I mean, some bloke's gone and got himself bashed up yesterday morning. And his wife is saying Wayne's gone and done it because she's got the hots for Wayne. I mean, that's horrible.
Oh, what's going to happen to him?
Well, anything could happen. I mean, if internal investigations becomes involved, he could lose his job.
Boss, I just spoke to our Good Samaritan.
Who?
The motorist that took Jerry Harlan to the hospital.
Ah, right. So where'd you find him?
Lying on the edge of some wasteland in the industrial area.
OK, two teams. Adam and Nick this side. Mags, we'll do this area here. Now, we're looking for a burgundy Magna. It's not on the street, so chances are it's parked beside a building.
Where Jerry Harlan works with cars.
Now, report anything suspicious, and I mean anything.
Yeah, no worries.
Boss, you could use an extra body out there.
Patterson, you are confined to this station till I say otherwise.
Come on, mate.
I didn't know we were going to do this today. I would have worn my other
Well,
shoes.
life wasn't meant to be easy, was it? Come on, will you? Here we go.
What do you reckon?
Well, it's either been left open or...
Been forced.
Yeah.
Let's take a look.
No, that's what we're here for.
Bingo, one Burgundy Magna.
That's the way.
Should we be doing this?
It's a forced entry. We're entitled to secure the premises for the absent owner.
What do you reckon, Nick? Holland's car?
Yeah? At a glance, what do you reckon Jerry Hyland's business is? Second-hand car parts?
No, not second-hand. Looks a bit warm to me.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Now, I bet you any money this is poor old Richo's engine.
It's a common enough make, though.
Well, that's why they pinch it. It's all common stuff. All we've got to do is go through the stolen goods list, and we'll find owners for all of this stuff.
All right. Adam, Mags, check the office. We need receipts, invoices, list of customers, all right?
Good work, all of you.
At least we've explained the epidemic of missing spares.
Oh, I must say I'm not too surprised about Jerry Hyland. Anybody who goes to that amount of trouble to stay invisible is usually up to something.
The car thing fits too. The enthusiast who can't keep away.
Yeah, so who bashed him? A disgruntled customer, fancy's upset, criminal opposition?
Well, it certainly wasn't me.
Mount Thomas Police Constable.
Boss, what I need are details of those spares in Highland's locker.
Okay.
Well, what are you waiting for?
Well, there's hundreds of them.
Boss, we've got a couple of teenagers acting suspiciously outside an empty house in Carlisle Street.
There you go, Detective. Your mystery accomplices.
Boss, can I take...
Yes, just take him with you. That means it's just you two for the spare parts inventory.
What, by ourselves?
Yes, Cooper, by yourselves. I'm going to go and have another chat with Mr. Jerry Highland.
The doctor said that any stress could seriously jeopardise his health.
I only have a few questions. There are some outstanding matters we still need to resolve.
Well, then they'll just have to wait, won't they?
The doctor's already given me his permission. Perhaps you'd like to wait outside for a moment.
No, thank you. I'll stay here.
Mr. Highland, it seems you've not been quite frank with us. My officers have just found your missing car in premises rented by you on Clark Street.
What premises?
My officers are currently checking the serial numbers of a quantity of automotive spare parts found on those premises.
Oh, God.
Jerry?
In the light of these developments, Mr. Highland, perhaps your memory's improved about the identity of your assailant.
I was just providing a service. My best business venture in years. Everybody was happy.
Except for the poor blokes whose spare parts you ripped off.
Oh, yeah, well, apart from them.
Mr. Highland, who bashed you?
I didn't get a good look. Just some young punk.
A name?
Dunno. I never saw him before.
All right, Mr. Highland, don't leave town. We'll be questioning you about these spare parts as soon as my officers have finished their inventory.
Okay, we've got another spoiler. Red.
Any other ID?
No.
Hey, how's it going, comrades? You finished yet?
Very funny. You want to join us?
Are you kidding me? What do you think I became a D?
No, I give in.
So I could leave... Watch your step. So I could leave the menial jobs to you lot.
So where have you been?
Hey, Menial, are you talking to me or the D here?
We've been arresting a couple of junior burglars.
On Bennett Street?
You guessed right.
And the boss has pinched Highland for this lot.
Not a bad day, all up.
Hey, Adam. Okay, we've got a full set of Pirelli tyres, 8-inch.
Fully imported chrome sports mags. Cost a fortune.
Once a toggy, always a toggy.
Hey. Greg Griffiths had a set of these stolen 2 weeks ago.
Oh, geez, having a bad run?
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
You, said the window was forced, right?
Yeah, it looked like it.
The pinch bar.
I got a paint sample tested.
This is the good news, Greg.
Hey, my wheels. Where did you get these?
We found them in Jerry Highland's locker, along with a lot of other stuff.
What is this?
Don't let me interrupt anything.
Take a seat. How well do you know Jerry Highland, Greg?
I've never heard of him.
Where'd you get this from?
It's mine.
What about the toolkit?
The toolkit's mine, too.
Really? Well, how come it's got Jerry Highland's licence number hand engraved under the rim?
I've got nothing to say.
Now, you strike me as the sort of fellow who keeps his ears close to the ground when it comes to deals on car parts, Greg. So when your wheels get nicked, you start asking around, don't you? You hear a few whispers about Jerry Highland's car operation, which is a real bonus for you because you know Jerry Highland, at least by name, from the local car club. And I bet you any money, mate, that you've picked up a few bargains from him.
Now, you rang him yesterday, didn't you? To set up a meeting, but he just thought you were another dodgy customer.
I didn't.
But you wanted to surprise him, right? So you parked the car on Bennett Street, broke in, and waited for him.
No.
Now, Highland denied stealing the wheels, matey. But you didn't believe him, so you beat him up. You left him in the vacant lot. Now, you didn't find your wheels, so you took his toolkit. An eye for an eye, you might say.
You're just guessing.
Now, you nearly got away with it, didn't you, Greg? But minutes before you parked the car, there was a burglary in Bennett Street. Then your car wouldn't start.
But then we roll up to investigate the burglary. And we find you at the scene with your pinch bar.
And you get charged for a burglary you didn't do. And Highland goes to hospital. You bashed Highland, didn't you, Greg?
Got a witness, have you? Someone who saw me? Then you can't prove it. It's just like that house job. You had to drop the charges because you couldn't prove it.
Burglary's one thing. We're talking about a very serious assault here, and one of my officers is taking the blame. Now, I can assure you, we're not going to sit around and let that happen.
Now, the chances are, Greg, someone saw you enter or leave the lockup. Now, we'll get proof, don't worry.
There's a question of the paint sample on this thing. Oh, it doesn't match the burglary side, but I'll lay odds it's a perfect match for Highland's lock-up window. I think we've got enough to book him.
What about your knuckles, Greg, eh? The ones you skinned when you opened up your bonnet. What did you do that when you opened up Jerry Highland's face? You listen to me, mate. You are in more trouble than you know. And the best thing you can do for everybody is to tell the truth.
So smart. Do your worst.
Okay. Gregory Allen Griffiths, I am charging you with assault causing serious injury to Jerry Highland. I caution you, you are not obliged to say anything, but that anything you do say may be taken down and used as evidence against you. Do you understand this?
Hi.
Oh, something wrong?
I just thought it'd be nice if we had Greg for dinner. You know, have him celebrate. It'd be like family for you.
No, I don't think so, Sash. I've just arrested your little brother.
What for?
You lied to me, Sasha.
No, I didn't.
You were so certain your brother had nothing to do with that burglary, you had me convinced.
It was the truth.
Greg tells me everything. That's what you told me in the pub. Everything. Now, Sasha, you tell me this. Did he tell you he couldn't have done that burglary because he was too busy bashing up Jerry Highland at the time? Did he?
Jerry Highland was a crook. He deserved everything he got.
No, that's not the point. See, he's got no right to take the law into his own
Well, what
hands,
is the point? Nick, please. Greg has been hounded by the police since he was a kid.
Don't start that, no.
He was going straight. He really was. He saved every cent to buy that car, and when someone rips off his wheels, he's entitled to try and get them back.
He's not entitled to bash someone and then leave that person for dead.
No, he wouldn't have done that.
You listen to me! Sash, this is not about your silly little brother. It's about you and me, all right?
All I did was try and protect my little brother.
At Wayne's expense.
What?
Oh, come on, don't play. Don't play with me, Sash, because when we were snuggling in that bed together, I told you about Wayne. I told you how he was hanging out to be crucified. Now, does Wayne deserve to lose his job just so you can protect your little brother?
Greg is family. I had to look after him.
Sash, don't do that. Don't. Come on. That's all right, isn't it? No matter who gets hurt.
I don't know.
Oh, Sash, I tell you, I wanted to trust you so much. So much.
Cam.
I knew why you lied about Billy's drug habit. I knew why.
Oh, he was dead. He couldn't defend himself.
But this is a bit different, kiddo. I know it sounds stupid.
What?
I'm in this uniform, Sasha Peters, because I believe in right and wrong. And I do try to do right.
Yes, I know you do.
Then why do you expect me to help your brother when you know he's done wrong?
Nick.
Sash, you weren't straight with me. You used me. And I can't live like that. I won't live like that.
Does this mean you want me to move out? But I love you.
There you go. I hear Nick's finally got himself sorted out. It's Sasha.
Yeah.
About time too. Nick's just the sort of bloke that ought to be married.
I was accused of something I didn't do. I told the truth and he didn't believe me. I still reckon that rates an apology.
Who's from, the boss?
Well, who else?
Look, let me put it to you straight, matey. You're screwing around on company time. Now, that's a thrown-out offence. You're lucky the boss didn't handball it up to Faulkner.
Faulkner's up himself.
Yeah, he'd have you for break and enjoy every mouthful, matey.
Well, the boss still could have trusted me.
It's got nothing to do with trust. He was covering your backside. You ought to be grateful.
Usual?
Make it a long one to match the day.
Here, let me get that, boss.
Very generous of you, Patterson.
That's the least I can do.
Well, now that all the tumult and the shouting have died, I suppose we should see about getting you back to normal duties.
Thanks, boss.
I've left the large case in the bedroom. Can go with the rest of my things. I'll send someone round in the morning. Nick. Well, I'll see you around then. Oh, God, look at the time. Oh, it's daylight already.
What's your hurry?
Yeah, well, this is the second time this week I'll arrive home with the milkman.
Oh, it's none of his business, is it?
No, well, his aunt plays bingo with my nan.
Small towns.
Oh, don't you love them?
Now, you know there is a way to solve your problem, don't you, Sash?
Yeah? I can't move in here with you. No, it's too soon after Billy's death. My family never forgives me.
You were the one who wanted everyone to know we were going out with each other.
Yeah, well, that's different.
Why? Oh. This will be your milkman, Sash. I don't know why you haven't left the right money, huh? Mad Thomas Police, Senior Constable Schultz. Right, burglary. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll be there as soon as possible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, it's another thing. Phone calls in the middle of the night.
Oh, love me, love my job, Sash. This better be important, Ritchell. I'm on another call.
Someone's just nicked me donk.
Eh? I'm sorry. Taken the whole thing, haven't they?
Mongrels.
Yeah. Well, bad luck, Richard. You joined the club. You're the 6th this month. Yeah. I'll get some details off this first.
BKC, Mount Thomas 306.
Mount Thomas 306.
Mount Thomas 306, do you have an ETA for the Bennett Street burglary?
ETA is 15 minutes, 15 minutes. As soon as I get there.
Should have started bed, Schultz.
You're not wrong, mate.
You took your time?
Yes, I know. I was on another call, wasn't I? More stolen parts.
Well, that's an epidemic.
I need some help interviewing the neighbours.
Oh, good, eh? What's the story?
There's a burglary. The occupant heard a disturbance about 7:15. Saw a bloke run out the front door.
Description?
Yes, he's medium height, build, fair hair.
Oh, Mr. Average. Fantastic. What was stolen?
CD video, a bit of cash. Maggie's chatted to these neighbours. Do you want to check out the end of the street?
That'd be right.
You got a problem with your matey?
She won't start.
Gee, that's no good, is it?
A glitch in the fuel pump, I think. Yeah, not a problem. You blokes on foot patrols now?
No, just routine inquiries, sir. I'll fetch a spanner from your toolbox,
No,
shall I?
no, it's all right.
No, I insist.
Well, it's,
Now, that's a funny sort of thing to have in your toolbox, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I
What's going on, Nick? Medium height and build, fair hair. And this.
Look, my car stopped, that's all. Something to do with the fuel pump.
Number 35 is burgled, and your car just happens to break down around the corner, is that it?
I told you. I was just passing through.
On your way to work?
Actually, I'm between jobs at the moment. I was on my way to see a mate.
Okay, got a name?
There was no use asking him. Didn't know I was coming.
Well,